After centuries of polluting and abusing the planet through human activity, we are reaching the point where soon it will be time for us to pay our dues. Many fear that it's a hopeless struggle and that we're all doomed for what's to come. But what if our escape from this approaching nightmare is by teaming up science with nature? In this video, we'll be exploring how a startup by the name of NovoNutrients is using techniques in synthetic biology to save the world. But first, let's talk about the problem: climate change. The concentration of carbon dioxide in our atmosphere is the highest it's ever been in 3 million years. Carbon dioxide, or CO2, has been building up in our atmosphere since the start of the Industrial Revolution in the 1760s, where it's been trapping solar energy and turning seas acidic. Large corporations like the UN Intergovernmental Panel Climate Change, the US Department of Defense, and the big petroleum companies have been warning us for years that man-made global warming is the highest danger humanity has ever faced. It's threatening to redraw coastlines, spark wars, destroy food and water supplies, alter weather patterns and ocean currents, and displace hundreds of millions of people all within our lifetimes. Really, really bad shit. It's pretty clear that we need to cut our carbon emissions, but how do we do it without torpedoing the economy? Global energy demand is rising fast every single day, where oil, coal, and gas obtained from fossil fuels continue to satisfy most of that need. Fossil fuels have been our primary source of energy for manufacturing because it used to be a cheap energy resource because it was found in such abundance, and in some places, it still is. So much abundance that we grew reliant on it for producing almost everything that you see around you. But fossil fuels are a very inefficient resource that pollute our atmosphere with toxic waste. In the past couple of years, we've been drifting into very dangerous waters with climate change, which now presents an interesting yet similar opportunity in front of us. As we continue to burn up more and more fossil fuels, they are becoming more and more scarce. So now, the problem that we're facing is that we need a new source of energy because fossil fuels are running out. And we need to clean up all the garbage in our atmosphere that we've been polluting for the past 200 years. So how do we do it? This is exactly the question that synbio startups like NovoNutrients have been working on answering using a process called synthetic biology. Synthetic biology is the name given to a suite of techniques that are used to manipulate living cells like microbes and turn them into tiny factories. That's right, factories. Factories which can be used to manufacture fuels, fabrics, fish food, pretty much anything you can think of. Microbes are more complex than the most sophisticated machines. They're really good at using resources available to them, even if those resources are complete garbage. And with the right genes, which can be engineered into them in labs through accelerated mutations, microbes can metabolize just about anything, including the industrial byproducts in our atmosphere. NovoNutrients is working on a solution to solve two big problems. The first is the climate change crisis, and the second problem is one that we're facing right now in the fish farming industry. Popular fish that you'll see at your local supermarket, like salmon and tuna, are grown in fish farms. In these fish farms, we feed the fish something called fishmeal, which is basically a powder made from ground-up bodies of tiny fish, like anchovies. In the fish farming industry, the biggest cost is this feed right here. This fishmeal is a $232 billion global industry, and given that the amount of fish in our oceans continue to decline, producing this fishmeal is getting more and more expensive. Back to NovoNutrients. NovoNutrients is creating a substitute for this fishmeal that they're calling Novomeal, which is made from proteins of bacteria and other single-celled organisms incubated in these giant steel vessels called bioreactors. Since Novomeal is made up of bacteria, it's much easier to grow than fishmeal so long as you feed them. And the key fuel for these bacteria is carbon dioxide, which we just happen to have an endless supply floating around in our atmosphere thanks to all the pollution we've been spitting into the air over the years. And when these microbes are not feasting on carbon dioxide, they are digesting many toxic chemicals spewed out by the oil refineries and coal power plants. And unlike any plant or animal, microbes grow at an exponential rate through cellular division. There are no eggs or relationships that need to be had in order to conceive. They just multiply over and over and over again. The solution of using genetically modified microbes to manufacture fish food is faster, cheaper, and cleans up the environment. Novomeal is expected to launch in early 2020. With the storm of climate change fast approaching, startups around the world like NovoNutrients are using techniques from synthetic biology to propose a new infrastructure for an entirely new world premised around producing food, energy, and material goods while consuming harmful chemicals instead of producing them. This new world is one where we will turn landfill into jet fuel, use spider silk to weave clothing, and make furniture out of mushrooms. This is the answer that SynBio startups are coming up with to stop climate change by changing the way goods are manufactured and creating a world where there is more harmony rather than destruction between humanity and nature. If you liked the video, be sure to like and subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one.